Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the SMG PW9 MOD.1 AR9 SMG. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do consider liking, commenting and subscribing, because those interactions help me get seen by the YouTube algorithm. If you want to say hello, then my socials are on the link tree down below, including my Discord. Stop by and say hello. And if you want to support the channel a little bit more, the join button down below will take you to channel memberships. 99p a month, totally optional, really appreciated. You get custom videos, custom giveaways, and a little bit more say in the running of the channel and a direct communication route to me as well on the Discord. So, many thanks today to my good friend Lewis, again, who has lent me this SMG to do an unboxing. And this is going to be unboxed and compared with the Well SMG, the Spec9 SMG, and this in a separate video later on, just to do a bit of a comparison of the three of them. So let's get started. I'm quite interested to see this one. So the sort of details online that I can see that are sort of talked about on this before we get into the box and everything: full metal aluminium receiver and full metal construction. It's got a Xionarms Nebula ETU stroke MOSFET. It's got a 6.03 in a barrel. It's got a quick change spring, and it's got a 19k RPM high speed motor as well. So I'm quite excited to see how this gets on and handles in general. So the box itself then is quite nice, quite simple. I am partial to a nice little box. We've got some options on the bottom there of different models. Quite liking the curved mag there. So this is the shorter one. This is the Mod 1 with a stock on it. So not much else to see. So let's get into this box. There we go. So some closed foam. And there it is. Lewis has gone for the bronze version. So let's just have a look in there. So we've got our cleaning and jamming rod. Got a cool little patch, because who doesn't love an airsoft patch? We've got a card, scan QR code for full manual. For the full manual, that is a in French programming card for the MOSFET, which we'll talk about later. We've got our mid-cap mag, which we'll talk about later. We have got a speed loader as well. That's a nice little accessory to throw in there. We've got the ultimate 2 bags of silica gel. They are spoiling us here. And we've got our little beast in general. Now, that is quite a nice little piece of kit. I am actually quite digging the bronze at the minute as well. So I'm just going to move that out. Silly box. So we've got a 1-year warranty from Xionarms. Online registration, it tells you to scan a code. So we've got this little beauty. Now, it doesn't feel much heavier, if much different at all, to the weight of the Spec9, but we'll cover that in a separate video. There is a good weighting to it, and it is mostly centralised around the middle of the body there. It feels well weighted to shoulder it. So I can see there is a lot of metal construction on here, so we'll get started. Now, I'm liking this cube muzzle brake. That is quite interesting, a different little piece of kit there. I'm liking that. And that is on just a 14mm negative thread for you to obviously swap out if you need to. We've then got our front end then, which is M-LOK. We've got the M there, M-LOK compatible on 2 sides. And we've got the rail all the way along the top. Now, what I do quite like is that this is an integrated hand stop in there, so you've got a good convenient place to get your hand in and grip it, help you with those C-clips if that's the style that you're going for. But you've also got a textured front magwell as well, which is often where I prefer to get my hand. I know that's not ideal, but it's airsoft, I guess. It's permissible, I suppose. But I do quite like the style in that, and a lot of the cutouts, particularly in the airsoft world, are just to keep things lighter. So, and it is pretty light, to be fair. I've got to give it to it. I am liking the styling, and the bronze is working for me at the minute. So we've got plenty of rail across the top then to mount accessories. No sights included with this one. Iron sights, that is. We've got the upper receiver then, which is obviously styled just a little bit more aggressive cut. Now, seeing this open, and that means that I'll release it for press the bolt release. It releases that, which means that does lock open. That makes changing your hop adjustments so much easier, which is really good. So I'll release that again. That's quite a nice little feature, that. The charging handle then is a little bit cool. It's got a little lever that you've got to pull back on. Quite a nice feel to it, and click. A little bit tingy. Obviously it's all metal up there, so there's not really any sound dampening in there, I'm guessing from the plastic absorbing sound and things like that. We've then got the Zion Arms logo built in. We've got our traditional safe semi-auto selector, and it takes a good firm push to get those round. And I do like the styling of the selector. Got quite a nice raised profile to it. It's not sharp, but it's definitely easy to get hold of and move round. We've got a nice flat trigger there, textured obviously to help with grip. Liking the shaped trigger guard as well. Just again, plenty of room for gloves in there. The obviously magwell is based on an AR, but the magwell is obviously reduced for the 9mm mag size, which is quite good. The pistol grip is extremely comfortable. We've not got the edges, which is good, and even without gloves, you know, I'm quite happy there. Maybe just a little bit of this corner, just rubbing. You can just start to see a little bit of holding there. There we go. Just starting to rub a little bit. If I didn't have gloves on for a day, possibly could get a little bit sore from that. But the pistol grip in general is really nice and comfortable. I love that they have included a sling plate on the back here, so you can put a single point sling on and just run it on a sling quite nicely. And it is so light. It's it's going to be easy to carry. I did forget to comment. Those are quick detach points there for an extra sling point on there if you needed it. Which is good. We've then got, I believe, it's a 6-position stock. Pull that down, that's quite hard work. It is a 6-position stock. I quite like the styling of the stock as well. It's quite a nice little style of stock. And then our battery compartment is in here, and it is a Dean's. Hooray, that's good. I would hope so, because it's an ETU in their programmable MOSFET sort of style system, so I would hope for a Dean's connector in there. So in terms of movement then, I'm struggling to really see much, maybe a mil movement at the most. That's quite good. That's really good. It's really solid. There's no real movement at all in it. Let's just put the stock back on and see what the stock rattle is like. Ow. There we go. A little bit of stock wobble. If I hold those two parts, not much noise coming from it, which is good and solidly built. It feels absolutely rock solid to me. It looks really well built, to be honest. I'm really impressed with that so far. So we're going to do the shooting test in a second. What I have got is I've got the Zion Arms mag to test out. I've got a Specna high cap to test out with it. I've got a Well SMG mag to test out with it, which is the same style as the Classic Armies. And last but not least, I've got the G&G ARP9 mag to test out with it as well, to see how we get on with those. So I'll be back in a second and we'll see what happens. So max 301, minimum 292, average 297. A little bit more spread than I maybe would have wanted, but you know, considering it's a primary, but pretty decent in general. Rate of fire even. About 13.5 rounds a second. Wow. Wow. So, like, basically looking at 22 rounds a second. Wow. easily 50 plus meters range. So I am back then from my shooting test and everything. So range wise, really happy, easily 50 plus meter range, really nice, and just whipping it out there. Obviously these are UK retailers that are selling them, so they're UK standards. Really happy with that. Didn't seem to take too much adjustment on the hop unit to get those 2.5s lifting either. When I do the rate of fire test, I take the hop unit off, same for the chrono as well. So the chrono then about 300 FPS, nice, you know, good for CQB in UK. You're not going to hurt anybody with that, but with the range, you're also not going to struggle in woodland either, which was really good. Rate of fire then, the MOSFET is definitely doing it some favours there. So you get in about 13.5 rounds per second, which is quite up from what I would normally expect for the 7.4 volt, and then about 22 rounds a second on the 11.1. That really impressed me. You know, I felt like, whoo, exciting. It was really good. The stock's really nice and comfy to shoulder. The quick detach points are nice, and the rubber pad is really good at just sort of securing on, not really slipping anywhere. So I was really happy with that. Now in terms of mags then, because I know that's what you want to know, the G&G AR9 mag did not fit and feed because it is working on an AR style mag release on the side. This has not got the cutout, so this will not work. It wouldn't even feed held into the mag well, so that's a non-contender. The Well mag stroke classic army mag fit and fed absolutely perfectly and flawlessly without any issues. The Spectre mag fit and fed absolutely perfect. Possibly the Well one was a little bit snug. That's not a bad thing. The Spectre one fit and fed absolutely perfect. Little bit of wobble though in there, but it fit and fed absolutely perfect without any issues. And of course, you would expect that the Zion Arms own mag would fit and feed, which it did absolutely perfectly across the different rate of fires and everything. So I was really happy with that in general. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at the gloved operations, and then we'll have a look at batteries, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So got my gloves. I have found them again. Getting pretty bad for man looking of lately and not seeing it when it's right there. What's the saying? Can't see wood for the trees. I've got too much kit and it's right in front of me. I can't see it. So gloves on them. In terms of this then, I can definitely operate the selector, no issues. I can definitely operate the charging handle and the bolt release. Pull that back. Now I can definitely roll the hop, which is a rotary style, and it's roll hop down to add hop. But again, I haven't got the awareness of how much I'm adjusting it, which you would get if you'd got no glove on. So just something to think about. In terms of the mag, I use its own mag. I can definitely get that in there without any problems whatsoever at all. I can adjust the stock easy enough. That's not a problem. And then changing the battery, that was not too inconvenient to pop that off. Getting in there, and we're going to have a look at batteries in a minute. Pretty sure with a little bit of faffing with my gloves on, I could definitely do a battery change in game if I wanted to. Not that you would want to, but in case I needed to. So I'm quite happy with that. Just something I forgot to mention. In terms of the magazine, it is a mid cap. So in the Spectre one, I kind of talked about the high cap being included, which is great. And we talked about how this fills up, that you pour the BBs in. You do not put BBs in the feed tube in the high cap. You pour them in and you use the winder. Now this one is a mid cap, which is why you've been given a speed loader. So what you do is you put your BBs in here. And I know for a lot of people it's like, well, duh, Pheas. Unfortunately, what you've got to think about is some people don't know this. So you put your BBs in there. You can get much bigger capacity ones of these. And then you put this in the top and you just click and it pushes the BBs in. And you just keep filling until you will feel that it won't take any more. The mag is then full. You're probably going to have to keep one of these on you whilst you're playing to reload your mag, because you don't want to sort of get mid-game and then be like, I need to reload and not have one. And nobody likes to fit and sit and feed a BB at a time into a mag. It is not nice. That said, knowing that those are an option is possibly an advantage here that you could work to your advantage. That if you are that sort of player, and you know there is totally a time and a place for high caps, a couple of high caps probably wouldn't go amiss there. So battery space then. So the battery is going to go in this stock tube. It is pretty good depth down here. The retaining lug is sort of down here, so you've got a good chunk of room. So what I've got is a selection of batteries then. So we're going to start with the ones that I use for the rate of fire test. So we've got the 11.1. So this is the 11.1 battery that I use for the rate of fire test. And I use these two batteries, 7.4 and 11.1. It gives me a consistent reading across all of the platforms. So that battery just will not go in there. So we're going to discount that one instantly. Next one, I've got the 7.4 volt that I use for the rate of fire test. And that will fit in there with room to spare. And I'm guessing, let's have a look. When you plug the battery in, you will get well, you'll hear. That's the ETU booting up, clicking in. So that's the best I can do with the wiring. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully put the stock on. Fully collapsed. Bear with me. Right, I can't fully collapse the stock. It's only going as far as that. And you can see the wiring in there. But that's pretty much where I would play with my stock anyway. I quite like them to be, as you know, pretty much fully collapsed, but not always. So that is a good option to have in there. So I'll drop that out. Now, obviously, if you don't mind playing with your stock fully extended, then you've got other options as well, which we'll look at now. There we go. So there's the 7.4 coming out. We've got an 11.1 1200. That is just obscenely long, which you can connect up and use, but your stock would have to be much further out. Same with the 7.4 1200. Again, sticks out. You're going to have to run the stock quite far out. And then we've got a 7.4 and an 11.1, very short one. Obviously, these are lower MAH. That will drop in there, and there is probably room to fit the wiring pretty much in there, so I could have the stock fully collapsed. And I'm guessing similarly with the 7.4. That is pretty damn nice all round. So those are your battery options. So overall then, I am pretty impressed with this. I wasnwasn't very keen on the sound of it. It doesn't sound very smooth. And I don't know whether that's the aluminium bodies just reflecting the sound a little bit too much. I mean, my microphone on my camera never does any of them any favours, and they always sound much worse than they are in person. It just sounds a little bit screechy and a little bit scratchy. Possibly just the motor height needs a little bit of adjustment, and that might be all it needs. But it just doesn't sound as smooth as some of the other things I've fired. But it is quite a nice, solid little platform. It's shot really well, feels really nice. In terms of programming it, the only programmable feature is burst. So you're replacing auto with burst. So let's have a quick look. So we put it to say semi, auto even by it looks. And we got to safe to auto, to safe to auto. Now we're in programming mode. And then if we 1, 2 round, 3 round, we've got up to 5 round, and then we've got binary trigger, and then we've got full auto, and then to confirm it, we press and hold the trigger in. Now I wonder if we can do that with semi-auto as well. So let's put it back to safe. Let's go to semi and go semi-auto, semi-auto. No, it looks like it's just auto that's, but it does give you the option then that you can disable full auto, and you can basically just have safe semi, which particularly if you're playing at CQB, some sites ban full auto, then that is an option to you, and it's pretty quick and easy to do that. Nice little feature in there. So I hope you found that useful. I've quite enjoyed that. I was hoping for a little bit more out of the ETU, possibly. I'm just being a little bit over expectant of it. But I'm looking forward to doing a comparison video between this, the Spectre, and the Well coming soon. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll leave the normal photos at the end, and I will see you next time. Bye.